Welcome to The Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to dive into this one today. We're taking a completely counterintuitive look at how the most ordinary, unglamorous services are quietly building immense wealth for people literally right in your neighborhood. You probably know someone exactly like this. They never show off, they don't really talk about money, but they live completely stress-free, they travel well, and they owe absolutely nothing. Now, you might assume they have some crazy high-tech job or inherited a fortune, but their secret is actually much, much simpler. They own a business that sounds, well, boring. And I'm not talking about boring as in bad, I'm talking about businesses that sound so incredibly ordinary that 99% of people would never even consider starting them. Now get this, a staggering 94.8% 5-year success rate. This specific number actually belongs to laundromats. And this immediately shatters the whole myth that you need a flashy tech startup or some revolutionary app to succeed in business. Think about that for a second. That means out of every 100 people who open a laundromat, nearly 95 of them are still operating successfully after half a decade.
Section 1. The boring business secret, how your ego is costing you money.
So let's explore why exactly 99% of people completely ignore these incredible stress-free opportunities. Honestly, it essentially comes down to ego. Most people mistakenly view these highly profitable businesses as just lowly jobs, and that ego is exactly what's costing them money. While half of all average businesses just fail within 5 years, laundromats are standing strong with that 94.8% survival rate. We're talking about tapping into a $5 billion industry where a well-run location can generate over $300,000 annually, with profit margins hitting up to 50%. Why? Well, because you don't have to convince anyone to wash their clothes. Clothes get dirty on their own, right? The demand is practically built into human existence.
Section 2. High profit, low glamour. The hidden wealth right under our noses. It's true, wealth is often hidden in plain sight, right down your street. These business models absolutely thrive on recurring revenue and convenience. Take automated car washes, for example. The industry surpassed $15 billion, and an entrepreneur named John Derry built a $6 million operation entirely on standardized execution and monthly memberships. No disruptive innovation required here, just pure, consistent execution. Or consider self-storage units. Did you know there are actually more storage units in the US than McDonald's and Starbucks combined? It's wild. The average customer stays for over 14.5 months, and many literally forget what they even have stored, but they just keep paying every month. Then you have vending machines, where operators make high margins by placing specialty machines in targeted locations. Or trash hauling, where contracts renew automatically because, well, trash never stops existing.
So the really crucial takeaway here is the incredibly low barrier to entry. I mean, you do not need a team of Silicon Valley investors to start building real wealth. You can start a pressure washing business for under $5,000. And the beautiful thing about pressure washing, once you clean one house, the neighbors see the results and they call you too. Your work is literally your advertising. Vending machines can be started for under $10,000. Or take a look at the notary public and loan signing agent route. Getting certified costs between $50 and $150 depending on your state, but you can charge up to $200 per document signing. At that point, it's just you, a stamp, and pure profit margin.
Section 3. Operator versus owner. The crucial mindset shift.
Because making real money in these fields requires you to step back and honestly stop charging like an employee. Let's use landscaping as an example. There's this exact mental shift required to take a $40,000 a year lawn mowing job and turn it into a $500,000 managed company. You see, a lot of people enter the landscaping space, but they make the fatal mistake of staying stuck at step 1. The real difference between making a modest living and building actual wealth is moving through the progression. You systematize the process, you hire people to do the manual labor, and you become the manager. You transition from the operator who mows the lawns to the owner who manages the people who mow the lawns. That shift, that changes absolutely everything.
Section 4. The convenience economy, or as I like to think of it, monetizing laziness. Now, this is easily the most powerful business model in our explainer today. It perfectly merges boring, everyday infrastructure with modern consumer laziness. Author Deibel actually calls this an acquisition business. You aren't inventing a new product at all. You are simply taking something that already exists and adding outsized value to it. The absolute best example of this from our sources is the wash and fold delivery service. You don't buy a laundromat. You don't even buy a single washing machine. Instead, you partner with an existing laundromat, add a delivery route, and suddenly you're capturing 30 to 40% margins with zero machine maintenance. You are quite literally monetizing convenience.
And frankly, the numbers are just incredible.
By simply being that logistical bridge between the customer and the laundromat, an operator with just 100 recurring clients paying $30 to $50 a week is generating massive recurring revenue. We're talking between $12,000 and $20,000 every single month. No storefront, no expensive equipment, just logistics, customer service, and providing the ultimate convenience to people who gladly pay to not do their own laundry.
Section 5. Taking action. It's time to choose your path.
Because here's the thing. Knowing about all these fantastic businesses means absolutely nothing if your pride is holding you back from actually starting one. This insight from Thomas Stanley's The Millionaire Next Door really grounds our entire explainer. Most millionaires didn't inherit their money, and they definitely don't work in glamorous industries. True financial freedom comes from solving inescapable everyday problems, completely regardless of what the broader economy is doing.
The contrast between a guy like Daniel and a guy like Alex is devastatingly clear. Let's say Daniel is 42, makes $55K a year, and has spent the last 5 years waiting around for the perfect Instagram-worthy business idea. In that time, he wasted $36,000 on unused subscriptions and dining out. He has absolutely nothing to show for it. Alex, on the other hand, makes the exact same salary but took messy, embarrassing action. His hands probably shook when he knocked on his first door, but he invested $3,500 into a pressure washer. Fast forward 3 years later, and Alex has a team, trucks, and bills over $180,000 a year on top of his regular job. Daniel chased perfection and did nothing. Alex embraced the boring and built wealth.
You see, the underlying DNA of all these opportunities is that they solve problems that simply never stop existing. This is the ultimate hedge against a bad economy. Clothes always get dirty. Cars need washing. Appliances break down and cost way too much to replace, so people pay for repairs today. Pests always return, and trash always piles up. These aren't fads. These are foundational human needs. And hey, if you're sitting there thinking you can't possibly do this alone, well, the SBA data confirms there has literally never been a better time to start. Out of 36 million small businesses in the U.S., a massive 82% are operated by a single person. Millions of solo operators are out there right now already proving that you don't need partners, you don't need a board of directors, and you certainly don't need permission to succeed.
So I'll leave you with this final, provocative thought. The blueprint for a stress-free, high-profit life. It isn't hidden away in some secret Silicon Valley vault. It is right in front of you, disguised as ordinary, boring work. So swallow your pride, pick one simple problem, and go solve